Good evening. We'll call the meeting to order, please, with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening and welcome, everyone. Roll call, Mr. Lundberg.
Cullum.
Yes.
Odie. Yes. Saxer.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Bell.
All right, if there are no changes that need to be made to the agenda, I would entertain a motion to approve that as presented, please.
So moved.
Second.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. No conflict of interest disclosure or waiver request tonight. That takes us to approval of the meeting minutes from March 13th and March 27th. If there are no additions or corrections, I would entertain a motion to approve those as presented, please.
So moved.
Second.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. I don't believe we have any community input tonight. That takes us to financial items, bills and claims. Mr. Lundberg, whenever you're ready.
Okay. I entertain any questions that the board members had. I had a couple things noted. On page 2, throughout the listing of bills, you saw quite a few that were labeled from that STEM grant that you had a presentation put forward to you a couple weeks ago. It's about $200,000 of equipment I think we ordered and paid for $136,000 during this month. Page 4, Gilhaugen Construction, $601,000. Total paid to date is $6.8 million out of an $8.8 million contract. On page 7, Minnehaha County Treasurer, there's a whole listing of special tax assessments, amounts to about $52,000 of drainage and wastewater fees that we have to pay, not subject to property tax, but subject to those other fees. Page 9, second half of our Career Academy slots, $56,460. As I said, that's the second half of the total bill. We buy 40 slots at $2,800 apiece. The middle section there, SJO, $34,150. Continuing saga of snow removal. That'll be there in August, I suppose. Total bill is $1,385,771. Advance payments breakdown of $4,236. $88,000 of pay vouchers, mostly substitute teaching. And $180,000 of food service bills.
Any questions for Mr. Lundberg on the bills and claims this evening? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve those as presented.
Sorry, question.
Yep.
With the Gilhaugen, that's payment 11. How many payments, how many more do we have?
We have $2 million more to go, depending on how that
Is that
pans out.
every month then? There's a,
Yeah. Progress payments.
Yep. Thank you.
I got one question too, Paul. On your advance payments, the Huther family tennis court rental, is that for the season then, for?
That was
Or what is it?
two matches that the boys played out at the indoor tennis courts, Huther.
So going forward, if there's inclement weather,
They'll play.
we'll play in there?
No, we'll play at home.
Oh, okay,
In fact, I think they were out there today.
okay.
Tell Harrisburg they can't read the sign. No buses allowed. They drive right by it. Any other questions?
Okay, now I'd entertain a motion to approve the bills and claims as presented.
Second.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. And financial report, Mr. Lundberg.
Okay, the cash report for the month of March showed $11,671,000 of cash coming in, $3,376,000 of receipts, and $5.1 million of disbursements. It left just under $10 million in total cash in the Brandon Valley School District. $7.3 million was in the general fund, $1.9 million in the capital outlay fund, $517,000 in the special education fund, $135,000 in the bond redemption fund. $3.3 million is itemized on the next 2 pages for your review. The investment report follows, $2,001,000. Payroll and benefit summary for March. Total payroll for the month of March was $2,527,000. Very typical month, $2 million. Under the financial statements, just had a couple facts about our budget that I wanted to pass on to you. Each month, we incur about $100,000 of school bus driver salaries. I looked at that, and it just seemed to be changing a little bit for us, and so I got in depth with it. Of that $100,000, $56,000 of that is general fund bus drivers, and $44,000 is special education bus drivers. So it's really started to flip there. The other fact I had is the instructional substitute budget amounts to $415,000 annual, just what we pay for substitute teachers. So that's quite a line item throughout the district that would amount to 5.5 full-time teachers if we had no substitutes. Obviously, we know that couldn't happen. On the actual financial statements, 75% of the fiscal year is complete. Revenue is at 65% in the general fund, which is pretty normal until we get the second half of the tax draw, which comes in May and June. Under the expenditures in the general fund, we're at 74%. Last year, we were at 75% at this same time in the fiscal year, so it would be trending of about 0.8% to 1% under budget, which would amount to $350,000 approximately, which we need. Capital outlay fund is 68% expended, a little under the 75, just kind of due to the Gilhaugen total project is in this year's budget. Special ed, 71.6%, and the debt service fund is 95%. Food service financial statement shows $124,000 loss with a $260,000 budgeted loss. We did receive another, I'll say, shipment of money. Supply chain assistance is what they call it, $127,000. So the federal gifts keep coming.
Is that before the loss then?
That's included in there. Yep. So that's probably part of the reason why it's under the budgeted loss, because we only have 2 months left.
I would remind you, we have to spend that down. We have a spending plan in place for our CNS department because of balance, correct?
Correct. That'll definitely help once the federal pipeline slows down or stops. Trust and agency account, $262,591, amounts held for others.
I've got a question, Paul. Due to your investigation on those 2 items, substitutes and bus drivers, will that make you change any numbers for the projections for next year, or are you about right on?
No, it won't change any numbers. It was just facts of how our current budget is coming out. But it won't impact any projections that we've shown so far.
Any other questions? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve the financial report as presented tonight.
So moved.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we go into general business. We have administration reports, Administrative Center, Superintendent Larson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have just a few items to update the board on here this evening. We continue to monitor the pipeline component. Next year's budget process is, we are well through a majority of that process. What I would draw your attention to is the preliminary budget presentation you will receive in the month of May, and then ultimately our public budget hearing and potential action or approval of the budget will occur in July. As we start to look to next year, I would just note we have our in-service dates laid out for our returning staff. And then our first day for all students will be August 23rd. I shouldn't say that. Our first day for kids grades 1 through 12 will be August 23rd. And then our first day for our kindergartners will be on August 25th. And then our kindergarten families have those special arranged visits on the Wednesday and Thursday of that week. And then they start on Friday. And then our early childhood program starts the following Monday. That's one of the COVID keeps that we have utilized. It's been incredibly impactful for our kindergarten families. It's also been very helpful for transportation and the management of the new processes, et cetera. So that is next year's academic calendar. Just want to make certain and put out that we will continue our past practice with our kindergartners starting on the Friday after we start and early childhood starting the Monday after we start. East Side Elementary School construction, just want to provide a high-level update in terms of where we're at. Mr. Odie referenced the Buildings and Grounds Committee meeting at our last meeting, but right now we are in preliminary planning with Architecture Incorporated, also working with our Buildings and Grounds Committee in terms of the preliminary ideas, and then myself, Mr. Lundberg, and our Operations Manager, Mr. Henschel, are also included in all of those respective conversations. Here this spring and then next fall, we will ramp up the communications with the Board of Education in terms of the commitment to Architecture Incorporated with the approval of their contract for architectural services. In addition to that, we'll work with impacted staff, teacher liaison committee, classified council, those respective folks in terms of the planning for that construction project. We'll bid that project in November, December-ish of '23. Construction begins that spring, in the spring of 2024. That building will be under construction the entire 24-25 school year, and then that will open in the fall of 2025 for the 25-26 school year. Relevant to note that at this time, we plan to place no additional tax burden on our patrons, and that project will be funded through capital outlay certificates. So no bond issue, no additional taxes incurred by our patrons. We're going to utilize our availability of capital outlay certificates for that respective project. And then, of course, certainly relevant to note and say out loud, as it is outlined within BV Vision 2040, when that East Side Elementary opens, the Valley Springs Elementary closes. So certainly information that we're starting to put out and communicate, but want to provide you guys with a high-level view of kind of where we're at. I would anticipate you'll see a contract with Architecture Incorporated here in the next month or two as they really start to ramp up their sketches and whatnot as we move through the process. In terms of this academic school year, we have our graduation ceremony on Sunday, May 14th. There's no school on May 29th, and our last day for students is June 1st. No changes in terms of dates or priorities regarding the high school addition project. I have a couple of photos to show you as well. Again, Science Lab is here. That's in Area A. You can see the casework's gone in, ceiling grids are in. They're in the process of that respective electrical and HVAC work, etc. Again, Area A classroom, really just waiting on finishing work. Carpet, all that respective work is still yet to be done, but Area A and those respective classrooms are not far off at all. Area A, this is the Clear Story area. Wanted to draw your attention to it as it was recently painted. Really, it's turning out, really turned out quite nice. So I look forward to our kids enjoying that natural sunlight. Area B classroom, as you can see, we are in the process of tape and texture, and not long after that will come the paint, et cetera. But so our Area B classrooms are progressing in terms of interior work quite well. Again, Area A, you can see sheetrock's up, tape textured, et cetera. This is in Area B. This is a stairway. So ultimately what we have is, as we described previously, this corridor runs parallel with the ramped hallway. So your current hallway is a ramped hallway and goes down slowly. What we have in our new addition is one level, and then once you get through basically Area A and B, when you get towards the end of the ramp, there are stairs that go directly down. So you'll have access to Area C through either the ramped hallway or through the stairway, but that's how we're managing that elevation change here between B and C. This is the second floor in Area C. So as you can see, the precast is going up. The masonry is almost finished or finished. I didn't see where exactly they ended today on the east side there, but the masonry is going well. The precast is up. This is the second floor of Area C. As you can see, steel stud framing is in progress. Insulation is in progress. That's that respective situation up on the second floor. You can again see our respective classrooms are studded out, and that work is ongoing. And then this is Area C, first floor. So then the process of pouring that respective concrete. I saw a concrete truck out there today. I can only assume that some of the first floor is now poured as well. So there's been some changes even since last week on Thursday. Area A exterior, you can kind of see it start to take shape. They've done some rough grading really at this point in time from the exterior, nothing finished, but some rough grading. That's looking from the south to the north, with Area A here to the south, and then obviously Area C up to the north. And then obviously Area C, the precast and the masonry work is in progress. Another shot of that. This is the north side of that respective building, so that's where you'll see your storefront. That is ultimately the exterior exit to the north. And then this is just a shot of Area C, stepping back a little bit. So I tried to do this so you can get a little bit of an image of what the final project or the final item will look like. With the red accents that get wrapped around there on Area C and then over the respective entrances. So, Madam Chair, that is all I have. I'd certainly entertain any questions that you have.
Thank you very much, Superintendent Larson. Mr. Lundberg, anything additional tonight? Okay. High school, Mr. Schleckaway, Mrs. Moore, Mr. Paula, anything?
Mr. Schlecker was going to share some things. I certainly can step up and do that.
Button. Perfect.
Thank you. So the next couple of days at the high school are very, very important days, although I would say that every day is an important day at the high school. But there's some special things going on, and I think, there's a theme over the next couple of days, and I'm thinking about what that theme is. Words like culture, community, learning, and service are going to be really, really powerful themes over the next couple of days. And I think we've been trying really to prepare over the past month, although if I think about it in a broader sense, the preparation for the next couple of days has taken place over years and years and years with input and effort from the students themselves, from families and parents, teachers, administrators, and community. So it is really a culminating time for us, and we work really hard to get it right. And so it's important. A couple things I always kind of say is control what you can. We're going to talk a little bit about testing, and I always say 2 things you always have control over is working hard to get a good night's rest and eating a good breakfast. Those 2 things always pay off when you're trying to do something important, like we are over the next couple of days. So I'll give you a little bit of a feel of what is going to happen. So starting off with our seniors, of course, they are going to be taking, on one of those 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday, they're going to be taking the NCRC, the National Career and Readiness Assessment, which I have recently learned, I believe that the Brandon Vet School District has done for about 15 years. Really important. It has some payoff for students in what they can take in college. It has some payoff for them, I've learned from the counselors, and even maybe what they could achieve in a job. There's some payoffs there. I'm learning more about that, but that's a really important assessment. The other day, for our seniors, what they're going to be doing is, and this comes from their voice, but again, it's a reflection of the culture of the entire district, is Senior Give Back Day. And I'm just really humbled to even say I get to be a part of that. I know Mr. Schleckaway has been wanting something like this to happen, and thoughts of this prior to COVID were there, but now it's coming to fruition. And I think the kids are excited too. And again, a culmination of community. We have 20-plus different places that students are signed up, our senior students are signed up to go and actually give back as a result of a kind of a culminating effort of their time here in Brandon Valley. Some have chosen to go to each of the elementary schools, Feeding South Dakota, our Veterans Project, and there's many, many more. And, you know, I think they're excited just to experience that joy of, you know, getting together and experience that strong social interaction while giving back to their community. And we have had, you know, our parent partners who've helped to put this together for us with donation of time and money. We have T-shirts that the students are going to wear. And I don't want to leave anything out, but it's going to be a really powerful day. So I know Mr. Schleckaway will look forward to reflecting on that with us as well after that takes place. So a powerful day for our seniors on Wednesday and Thursday, April 12th and 13th. Of course, for our juniors, a very important day where they get to show what they've learned. And we just ask them on that day to do their best, and we know they will. They've got the strong support of the school and their parents and families behind them, and they just need to step up, and I always say just, you know, swing the bat and do your best, because they're going to do great. And because, and again, many, many years from pre-K on in preparation for those assessments. For our sophomores, kind of a really wonderful day for them as well, a couple of days. Of course, they'll be taking the pre-ACT. This is something that our district pays for and really offers a nice opportunity for them to step into that assessment experience with really a low-risk type of situation. Benefits of that is they get to see what that feels like to take that test. Very unique assessment. You know, just get in there and see what that feels like in that real-time testing experience. And then get some feedback of what areas where they're strong, what areas maybe they need to work on, and that's very valuable. On the other side of that day, our sophomores are going to be split into 2 groups, and they'll flip-flop these 2 days. They get the chance to explore 3 different experiences where they'll be exposed to our community campuses. One is the USD campus at Sioux Falls. The other is Southeastern Technical College and also National Guard. And we tell our students, you know, what you learn about an experience, what you find out you like, is just as important as finding out what maybe doesn't appeal to you. Both of those things guide and help to form your pathway. So we're excited. This is the second year that we've done the field trip experience with the sophomores. They liked it last year. We're excited to have that back for them this year. And our freshmen, have a really powerful couple of days as well. They also get to have the experience of having some standardized testing in the core areas, having that experience of seeing what that's like to be immersed in that quiet setting of taking an assessment and beginning that learning process as they prepare for larger assessments in the future. But they will also then have a really wonderful opportunity as part of our continuing commitment to the workforce and preparing our students for their careers and internships. We have about 20 different or more community members. Ms. Willman and Mr. Brady Olson have been working to bring them in. And the students, on the day that they're not doing the testing, are going to be just rotating. A wide variety of community speakers are going to come in and just share with them and just give them that opportunity to expose them to maybe something that they like, and again, maybe something that doesn't appeal to them, or just learn something that they didn't know before. So a really powerful 2 days, and we just want to thank everybody for their support in helping our students to have these experiences. And of course, coming up this weekend will be our prom. Saturday, I believe that is the 15th, so we're looking forward to that as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Middle school, Dr. Nelson, Mr. Rothenberger.
First off, I want to say thank you to Ricky P., Mr. Pearson. Today, we started 8th grade science state testing at the middle school, and he was there throughout the day to help us problem solve, and it went smoothly. So we're excited for the next few weeks to hopefully continue that smooth path,
He wasn't in my building today.
because he was helping us.
We just wanted, sorry, I'm jumping the gun on your thing. We just wanted to talk about our art teachers, both the middle school and the intermediate school art. Mine, Jennifer Turwey, Aaron Reef, for the middle school are both nominated as Art Teachers of the Year. Mine was for the middle school. Miss Reese was for overall, so we're excited for them and what they put on. And I think that just goes to show too, the district art night that happened last month and those extra efforts that they put together do make a difference and bring out a lot of opportunity for our students that they can just have the experience and do those different types of things. So we want to just say congratulations to them.
Thank you. Mr. Pearson, anything tonight? Okay. Mrs. Otime, anything tonight? Okay. Elementary, anything? No? No takers? Okay. Mrs. Nelson, anything? Mr. Henschel? Okay. Mr. Frecking? All right. Board policy, there is none, so that takes us to general business, item number 1, to ratify the 2023-2024 master agreement between Brandon Valley School District and Brandon Valley Education Association.
I can open up to any questions. We did meet with the VVEA as well as with Paul and Dr. Larson and came upon a recommendation for an overall, thanks to the state for the 7.1% increase that they passed on, but we still have a commitment that we want to look at what we have in the budget to make sure that we're giving everything we can to the staff. That's always been something that we've had in our, I guess, our theory and our what we want to do. So we an 8% overall increase. We also wanted to soak up as much as we can with the health benefits. So when you look at what the increase of the health benefits, as well as that 8% salary increase, it comes out to about a 9.4% overall benefit package increase for the upcoming year, along with the one-time salary increase that they get about mid-year. And that's what we'd like to offer across the board for our BV staff. Any questions that I can answer for the board? Okay. There are also some other provisions that were made, and I think those were, is that at this time, or is that others? Okay. We did add for, let's see, what?
We had a middle school assistant cross-country.
Middle school assistant cross-country, and we also looked at, I don't have it up, sorry, I'm looking at the screen here.
It's a 4-year language
Thank you.
agreement. So it's through 2027. The monetary component of the master agreement will be renegotiated next spring.
Okay. And then the final thing is that we looked at the personal days. They were previously paid at $250. We have increased that to $300 a day. That's for unused personal days. And again, behind that, we would prefer to have our teachers, if they would like to be in our classrooms, it would be better to have them in our classrooms rather than substitutes. We still would like to make sure they understand, if they would like to take those personal days, please take your personal day. But if they are staying in their classrooms, we would be more than happy to pay them out for their personal days. So that is what that note is as well. And then that same increase also happened for the accumulated sick days. So upon that accumulation, rather than $50, it'd be $75 for the payout of the sick days. Same kind of theory that would be behind that. Any other questions that I can answer? Mr. Bell?
Just thanks for all your work to help support teachers.
That is a full board thing here. I always appreciate Mr. Lundberg running the numbers. And again, I cannot thank our BVA enough. I know Ms. Ring is here. She has her other colleagues that meet with us. That relationship is phenomenal. We appreciate that very much. And I know that she meets also with her entire staff, and they bring recommendations to the table. We appreciate that those come in very early, so we know what we're looking at, what we can run for the numbers. This is just a small reflection of what we can say to say thank you to all of the teachers and staff across the district. And we will continue every year to say, take what the state gives us, and hopefully they can, that's what we do with, ASBSD, is we push for everything we get from the state, and then continue to pass that on. I can share that other districts are not giving anywhere even close to that 7%, which it will be hard to fight now next year, saying, hey, thanks for giving us the 7%, we want more, when all the districts didn't even pass that forward. But we want to continue to give everything we can to the teachers, and try to meet what their needs are, because that's really what pushes forward the education here in the Brandon Valley School District.
You had mentioned the 8%, and then on top of it was the benefit, so it
Correct.
comes out to be 9 point.
Sure, so we soak up some of the increases that were there for the health insurance. And so when you look at what we pay out in the health benefits, it ends up being a total package increase of 9.4%. They are going to see the reflection in their salary of 8%. But then when you really take the whole package together, it ends up being a 9.4 because we are paying as a district part of that increase in their health and benefits.
Just to make a note that the benefits isn't part of that 8%.
No, correct.
Yeah, yep.
Correct.
Yep,
Correct.
thank you.
But you will see in our budget, in the amount that we pay, not only in salary, but also on health care, is one of our largest line items that we pay every year.
If no other questions, I would entertain a motion to ratify the 2023-2024 master agreement between BVSD and BVEA as presented.
So moved.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Item number 2, approve wage recommendation for classified staff for the 2023-2024 school year.
Madam Chair, presented to you is the recommendation of an 8% increase across the board for our classified staff, and then also the continuation of the wage and salary enhancement as outlined here within our classified handbook. So again, 8% wage increase for all classified staff, continuation of the salary enhancement, and then in the event that they're an individual that is eligible for the health insurance and takes it, they will see no additional costs associated with that as well. So with that, certainly entertain any questions you have regarding the recommendation.
Hearing no questions, I would entertain a motion to approve the wage recommendation for classified staff for the 2023-2024 school year.
So moved?
Second.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Item number 3, approve contracts and salary recommendation for administration for the 2023-2024 school year.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Within your packet, what you have is you have a list of our respective administrators, their current salaries, and then what that 8% increase looks like. Recommendation is for an 8% increase to our administration, as well as the continuation of the $1,500 salary enhancement paid in the month of November. There are no additional days being added to any contracts here this year. That's why you can see that that respective column is empty. And then what I would tell you is 12-month administrators are not eligible for the 2 additional days' pay because they have 12-month contracts. So any administrator that has a 12-month contract, you don't see any of the additional days' pay outlined for them. That's only for those individuals who are on non-12-month contracts. So that is for your respective review. Administrative recommendation from the superintendent is 8% increase and the salary enhancement.
Hearing no questions, I would entertain a motion to approve the contracts and salary recommendations for administration for the 2023-2024 school year.
So moved.
Second.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. I would entertain a motion to approve general business items number 4 and 5 as presented, please.
Second.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Personnel, I would entertain a motion to approve items 1 through 21, please.
So moved.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Items 22 to 27 are for information only and have to deal with internal transfers. Communication, under central office, there are building permit applications for your review if you choose to review those. And does anyone have a formal board report that they would like to share tonight?
There's an upcoming ASBSD spring retreat that'll be coming up at the end of April. The only reason I mention it is it will be taking place here in Sioux Falls. At that time, we will be discussing nominations that are typically about this time of year for ASBSD. So I would just ask for, one, the school board members to take a look. I can pass those along, as well as anybody in the district that would be interested to look. There's the School Bell Award, as well as Outstanding School Board Member, as well as anybody that is outstanding in education, not only within the education realm, but also within the community. So it'd be great to get some nominations from the Brandon Valley School District. I will tell you, there are school districts across South Dakota that are really good about just sending in a Bullworth amount of nominations. We don't need to be the ones that just flood it, but if we really have some credible nominations that we'd like to send forward, it'd be great for those people that we just feel are outstanding. We'd like to put that forward. Okay?
I've nominated Bill Miller for 5 years, and I'm going to send in a nomination for Bill Miller again.
Good. There we go. Anyone else have any committee meetings? Any other formal reports? All right, hearing none, then I would entertain a motion to enter into we need to enter into executive session per South Dakota Codified Law 1-25-2.4 for 2023-2024 superintendent contract negotiations.
So moved.
All right, we will dismiss everyone for the evening and all right, we are out of executive session. It is 7:27. At this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the 2023-2024 contract proposal for the superintendent. Items listed are 8% base salary increase for 2023-24, a $1,500 salary enhancement paid in November 2023 payroll, add contract item 5P, continuation of health insurance. Upon retirement, the superintendent shall continue to receive the school district contribution for coverage under the school district's group health plan that was in effect at the time of retirement until the earlier of either, number one, the superintendent becomes eligible for group insurance under another plan, or number two, the superintendent is becoming eligible for Medicare benefits. And the last bullet item, all other contractual components remain.
So moved.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. That takes us to the end of our meeting. I would entertain a motion to adjourn. There's been a first and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.